Okay, we are going to get started with today's webinar, which is the annual Open SFC membership meeting. And I am very pleased to welcome all of you to this event, and I'm looking forward to hearing from all of you. I'm Susan Inglis, and I direct the organization, and I'm pleased to have with me here today several of our sponsors, and you'll be hearing from them. We also want to hear from you. However, you are muted at this time, and so during the webinar, when you have comments or questions, let us know by raising your hand, and I will make sure that we call on everybody. If not the moment you raise your hand, then at the end. So I want to get started by telling you all, for those of you who are new to our work especially, telling you all a little bit about our organization and where we have been, how we got to here. So Sustainable Furnishings Council started in 2006. At a meeting in High Point that Jerry Cookland, our founder, called in his showroom. The meeting included, and our membership to this day includes, companies that are involved in residential furnishings in various ways. So suppliers of materials, manufacturers of all kinds of furnishings products, stores where these things are sold, interior design firms, and importantly, international conservation organizations. World Wildlife Fund and Rainforest Alliance helped get us started and remain very active with us today. As at the beginning, we work on clarifying best practices for sustainability for our industry and helping companies understand how they can reduce their environmental footprint, also helping consumers find the more environmentally safe furnishings they would prefer. We are an educational organization more than anything else. We have a certificate program, Green Leaders, which is 6 hours and 6 CEUs, which gives you the whole overview of what is this sustainability stuff and what does it have to do with us in this industry, and helps you learn lots of questions to ask, answers to look for, and how to put all that together to build your business and do your job better. We are, of course, offering it online these days. So this is how we got to be who we are. We are a membership organization of now 400 companies, nearly 400 companies from the 43 that got us started those 14 years ago. Each of these companies has made their own public and verifiable commitment to sustainability, to transparency, and to continuous improvement. And we support them in realizing their commitment by providing a lot of guidance and resources and education and marketing support. Members use that member seal you were just looking at. We are also these days the Sustainable Furnishings Education Fund, which is a 501c3 organization, an educational organization for the public good. So serving everybody in the industry and the general public as well. If you're not involved with us yet, I'm glad you've come to this meeting, and I hope that you will be inspired by it to get more involved with us henceforth. Our work is made possible by our sponsors, including Vara Luce and Curry and Company and Room and Board, Mitchell Gold and Bob Williams, Naturepedic, Sattva, and Milliken. And several of these sponsors Milliken and Curry and Company in Varaluz are with us here today, and we're going to hear a bit from them now. I appreciate their work, not only for the material support they're providing us as an organization, but also for what they're doing within their own companies, what's important to them, which is what you're going to hear now. I'm going to turn to you, Jennifer. And you'll unmute yourself.
Good afternoon. I'm Jennifer Harmon, Director of Business Development with Milliken Specialty Interiors, and we are delighted to sponsor this event today and be part of this amazing organization. Milliken and Company is a family-owned, privately held company with over 150 years of environmental stewardship as a core value. It's part of our DNA. We're headquartered in Spartanburg, South Carolina, on a beautiful 600-acre campus that is actually also a national registered arboretum. So we're very fortunate to have that space. We have over 8,000 employees and operations across the globe. So we are a global company headquartered here in the US. Our expertise in research, design, and sustainable manufacturing is driven by our 4 divisions. We have textile, flooring, chemical, and healthcare. In 2019, we joined the UN Global Compact, which is one of the largest global sustainability efforts with 17 transformational goals. And Milliken prioritized our goals around planet, product, and people, and more specifically, reducing carbon emissions, the circular economy, and diversity and inclusion. We continue to convene with leading organizations like National Geographic, the Alliance to End Plastic Waste, and our group here today, the Sustainable Furniture Council. We had the opportunity to invite Brian Skeary, a renowned National Geographic ocean photographer, to speak at our campus last fall, and he said it very well. We are living at this pivotal moment in history. Maybe for the first time, we understand both the problems and the solutions. And we appreciate your attendance today, and please join us in this call to action. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. And now let's turn to Beth Matori.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the annual meeting of the Sustainable Furnishings Council. I am Beth Matori with Curry and Company, and we are pleased to sponsor today's meeting. About 11 years ago, I met Susan Inglis, who told me all about the SFC and how important it was for our company to join. I agreed and signed up immediately. I quickly learned that the council is a great resource with up-to-date educational tools, which we needed because our company was far from sustainable and clueless on how to begin the long journey to sustainability. It is still a work in progress for us every day. Over the years, we have committed our company to lessening the impact our processes and products have on our environment, from recycling and composting in our warehouse, office, and showrooms, to using reclaimed and recycled materials in our product designs. It all represents the core value of our company and a sense of purpose as we practice commerce with conscience. This past spring, as we grew to accept that the COVID-19 quarantine was going to last longer than any of us ever imagined, Jared Diamond wrote a brilliant article for the Financial Times. The Pulitzer Prize-winning geographer and author shared that this coronavirus may embolden all of us to tackle humanity's greatest threats, which I may add have nothing to do with a highly contagious virus. He listed 4 things that we must work to overcome if we are to work, thrive, and survive on this earth. Number 1, the nuclear threat, which is no surprise, but rarely do we talk about it these days. Number 2, global warming. Number 3, unsustainable use of essential resources such as fresh water, topsoil, and forest. And lastly, number 4, the consequences of the enormous difference in the standard of living between the world's peoples, which will lead to a destabilizing of our global existence. We can already see this in our own country with poverty, pollution, lack of basic health care, and racial injustice. The home furnishing industry has a huge task ahead of us, but the first logical step is to join, participate, and support Susan and her team at Sustainable Furnishings Council. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Beth Ann. And with that, we will turn to Sarah Chandler of Veraluz, who is this one, and she is going to unmute. There she is.
Hello, thank you, and welcome all. I do apologize, I'm having the camera issues, but Susan did point me out. Thank you. So yes, I'm Sarah Chandler of Veraluz, and also on the call is our president and designer, Ron Henderson, who just popped up there. We are very happy to be a part of SFC and their cause, and we, like them, believe in it's our duties to become more aware of the products we use and bring into our homes. Veraluz is inspired by what we saw with our planet's landfills becoming larger and more harmful to our Earth. Through that, Veraluz dreamt up a world where lighting and beautiful, that lighting was beautiful and good for the environment. Veraluz is dedicated to a world with less waste, using 70% recycled steel, 100% recycled glass, low to no VOC paint finishes, and just about any sustainable and natural material we can get our hands on to create these unique, beautiful pieces. So Vera meaning variety and Luz meaning light. We are eco-friendly, handcrafted, inspired lighting. And now I'd like to hand it over to Ron to say a couple things.
Hey, just a quick heads up that we may be a smallish company, but we try to punch above our weight in terms of the eco-friendliness of any and everything that we do. Having started 14 years ago, we had the luxury of being a little more modern in how we approach things, but also being a bit of a control freak. We actually make all of our own packaging, and we use all of the excess cardboard that we cut from making our boxes to hand make all of our inserts. We only have one single plastic bag in almost all of our boxes. We use foam almost nowhere. There are a few things that we do that are glass that have to be protected with it, but otherwise we really strive to use things that we already have or that we can reuse and not actually contribute to even more waste on this planet. So with that, thank y'all and look forward to hearing the presentation.
Thank you so much, Ron and Sarah, and all your team here. It is great to see you all, and thank you all for making possible the work that we do. Our work is also made possible by our board, who provide guidance and detailed hands-on support, especially to me, which I so appreciate. And I think that some of our board are here with us today. So I'll invite them to make any comment now or later in the conversation. And the logistics of that, if you will raise your hand, I will unmute you. And nobody wants to say anything right now, so that's okay. I will move on to thanking our ambassadors who, of course, do an excellent job of promoting the cause within their own large and far-reaching networks, as well as for us at events like High Point Market and other industry events. This year, we are really privileged to have excellent communication support from Nina Reeves Communications, which revamped and revitalized our ambassador program this year, from Andrew Joseph Public Relations, which is providing us excellent support in social media and getting us podcast opportunities right, left, and center, and Leslie Newby of Work the Brand, who is writing excellent, and she's also distributing these excellent press releases for us. So this, it is great to have such support for that results in things that, you know, speaking, Ron, of punching above one's weight, it wouldn't be possible for us to be doing regular Instagram posts and regular press releases and running our Just One campaign if it were just the three of us. So we, the staff, really, really appreciate the support of all of you. So as you know, I'm Susan, I direct the organization, and you all know Angie Kinney because she is the one that provides you with your member services. She makes sure you are well taken care of. And few of you know Patrice Lewis, who stays in the background but provides us with excellent assistance, putting things together and doing it very efficiently and promptly, which we so appreciate. So this is your SFC team. And this is what we are up to. As you know, we are concerned about all the many issues that fall under this wide umbrella of sustainability, and we're tending to focus where we in this industry can have the largest impact the fastest. But there are a lot of choices here. We are a global manufacturing industry. Actually, I'm going to show you this in a different way. We are a global manufacturing industry, and so we are burning a lot of fossil fuels, resulting in a lot of CO2 emissions as the factories are run all over the world and as materials and finished products are transported all over the world. Frequently in our industry, the raw material might originate on one continent, be processed on another, be manufactured on another, for consumption on yet another. So it is a huge footprint both in the processes and in all that transportation, though we're a relatively small industry. Much of the material we use is wood. Even though there are other industries that use more wood, those industries are much bigger than we are in our industry. And we add the highest value to the wood resource, so have a particular responsibility for halting deforestation. We also have a particular responsibility for the quality of our indoor air and for the ways in which our indoor environments are otherwise polluted. We use harmful chemicals in some of our processes, and that does end up compromising the health of our indoor environments. Some people are surprised to know our contribution to a lack of social equity. For instance, cotton which is our favorite natural fiber, is cultivated with forced labor unto this day in 19 different countries, according to the ILO. And textiles like cotton, as well as other materials that we use in furnishings, take a lot of chemicals in the processing of them. So textiles actually, for instance, can require 10 to 100% of their fabric weight in chemical inputs. Sometimes that results in toxic waste. sometimes our furniture, though it is a durable good that should be in use for a long time, ends up in landfills, and certainly components of our furniture end up in landfills. These days here in the US, furniture is 6% of our municipal landfills, and textiles is another 6%. Textiles is actually the fastest growing part of our municipal waste. Water pollution is our responsibility when the chemicals we are using are escape into waterways, and that does happen sometimes in textile production and in leather production, and it can happen in production of other products that we are making in this industry. So we have to take responsibility, like the leather tanning the industry in Europe especially has taken. We have to take responsibility for making sure that the water that leaves the factory is actually cleaner than what comes in. Otherwise, there is pollution that we are responsible for. And finally, as I said, furniture can last a long time, and it can be repaired and reused as well as recycled. So all these elements of sustainability are our responsibility. There are very specific ways in which we can take responsibility, which is important because the planet is in serious trouble. We are looking here at a video of how the planet has warmed since early in the Industrial Revolution. And you can see that it is getting more and more orange and red, meaning that it is warming up. This warming threatens not only our economies, but life as we know it on the planet. So we here at Sustainable Furnishings Council aim to help you think about your whole business and its impact on our planet home, and to give you the tools that you need. So our work continues with more and more urgency. And some of it has actually gone really well so far this year. First, I will report that COVID has not put us under. It was frightening and threatening as it got started in the spring. And I think to many of you, businesses in our industry as well. But we are coming along okay, we as an organization and we in this industry. And in fact, this COVID crisis has taught all of us, furniture professionals and consumers alike, how thoroughly we are interconnected and how important a healthy home is to a healthy future. So I am pleased to report that SFC membership is holding steady. We do have nearly 400 member companies, and we are seeing more and more engagement. For instance, a lot of you have come to this meeting, and I really appreciate that. And like I said, want to hear from you. So raise your hands as you have comments, and we're going to have discussion towards the end here. So our membership is holding steady, and we are pleased about that. We are also pleased to have a new office into which we moved just as the COVID crisis began. So we have not much been working from it. Rather, we have been working from our own home offices, but we are managing to get our work done. And that includes our initiative, the What's It Made Of initiative, which we launched in 2016 to encourage transparency in our supply chains and to stimulate innovation towards the eventual elimination of the handful of harmful chemicals that are most commonly found in furnishings. Well, this year we got support for our What's It Made Of with the Irene Winifred Eno grant from the American Society of Interior Designers Foundation. So ASID's foundation made it possible for us to do a survey of interior designers that showed that though we have a vague awareness that there are a lot of chemicals in furnishings that are bad for us, we do not have many specifics and are not empowered to make sensible choices. So just a couple of the questions that we asked, and many of you responded to this survey, and I appreciate it. We asked in general about knowledge of harmful chemicals, but then we drilled down on these 5 that are most commonly found in furnishings. And we found that people have some knowledge of the use for these top 3. More than half of you have some knowledge of the use. But very few of us have much knowledge of the related health concerns. And if you wanted to find out more information about the environmental safety or the health of furnishings products, where would you go? Well, many of you have no source to turn to. So we do aim to rectify that. We aim to provide you with information that you need to fill this knowledge gap with online resources and with programming. You will have noticed that this past year in 2020, our webinars have included presentations by scientists with expertise in flame retardants, in VOCs, in antimicrobials, and in PFAS. And this year has also seen us begin working with UL, Underwriter Laboratories Chemical Insights Institute, on a guidance document for interior designers that is specifically about flame retardants in furnishings. And many of you came forward volunteering to be part of that. The review process of the document will be starting soon, and there is room for you to be involved to review that document before it goes out to everybody. And we would especially appreciate more interior designer support. So let us know if you're interested in doing that. And the webinars that we have done live on our YouTube. So if you missed what I've just mentioned, you can find it there, and you can expect more in this coming year. Other highlights of 2020 include, as I said, the revitalization of our ambassadors program, and it includes each ambassador's enthusiasm for our cause and for their role. The ambassadors in October conferred the first ever Green Ribbon Awards during High Point Market. They pointed out product from SFC members who usually show at market, whether they were able to be at the market this season or not. And so that celebrated the product and celebrated the companies, as well as celebrating that event. And there is a lookbook online that you can access through our Instagram. Because High Point Market because all markets are a little different now, we did our guide to green at High Point Market as a virtual guide this year, and we're able to include all our members, not just the ones who were there. So that is another thing that has worked out surprisingly well for us in this year. And that too is available online if you didn't see it. It's on our website. Also, during the High Point Market just last month, we announced the results of the 2020 Wood Furniture Scorecard. As I said, we in this industry use a lot of wood. We're the #3 user of the wood resource, but ours is such a fragmented industry that in our industry, perhaps more than in others, we often do not know where our wood is coming from. So having a robust sourcing policy for finding your wood and choosing wood products is especially important for furniture companies. And that is what we and our colleagues at the National Wildlife Federation use this wood furniture scorecard for. It is, we assess retailers on their wood sourcing policies, and we provide them with support and resources for developing policies and for improving implementation of those policies. This year is the third year of doing this wood furniture scorecard. We started with assessing only the largest retailers in North America. Then we added, in the second year, Sustainable Furnishings Council member companies, which of course include a lot of smaller and medium-sized businesses. And then this year we expanded our reach further. This year we assessed 94 companies, and 24 of them made significant improvements in how they source their wood furniture. As a result specifically of our engagement on this project. So we're very, very pleased with how that has gone. We're now focused on celebrating our top scoring companies and helping them get the word out in their communities, as well as to the furniture buying public in general, because more and more of us are able to serve customers anywhere. We do a lot of this with social media, and I hope you will have noticed that. But we also have this opportunity with EarthX Television, EarthXTV, to celebrate wood furniture scorecard top scorers at these 13 companies, which scored at least 18 out of 31 total points that cover having a policy, how it is implemented, and how it is promoted. There are also 13 companies that won high scores this year by getting 13 to 17 points out of the 31. And for our work on the wood furniture scorecard, we were awarded the Leadership Award from the Forest Stewardship Council. So we got the 2020 Forest Stewardship Council Leadership Award this year, and we are so pleased and proud about that. It's a really big deal for us to be recognized by Forest Stewardship Council, with which we have been working closely all these years, but especially this year. They recognized it, and we thank them very much for that. Clearly, having a wood sourcing policy that helps save the forests of the world is a best practice for sustainability. Sustainable Furnishings Council members commit to implementing best practices that are pertinent to their particular business, and we at SFC are committed to helping each of our member companies realize their own corporate commitment to sustainability, encouraging and supporting their continuous improvement. This year, we adopted the use of this sustainability wheel that our friends at Parsons the New School Health and Materials Lab Library have shared with us. We've organized the best practices that you are familiar with, because they're the ones we've had for these 14 years. We've organized them in these 6 segments: reduction of CO2 emissions, promotion of health and well-being, assurance of social equity, reduction of waste, better management of water, and where they really all come together, integration of the circular economy. We are pleased to be doing our part to bring this industry into the circular economy. There is a lot to manage in each of these 6 segments. So we want to be sure that you are not overwhelmed. And this is a very common result of a focus on sustainability, is overwhelmed that there is so much to do. Thanks to our board and our communications team, we have started a Just One campaign, which is to encourage you to start wherever you are and take just one step at a time. So take just one step at a time. And Sustainable Furnishings Council members are asked to report annually on what they are doing in reducing CO2 emissions, or by reducing energy use and managing their supply chain, and in being loud about it. We ask that you choose just one thing to focus on at a time, and we are all about helping you make progress. So we want to help you all work with each other on the details of whatever your priority is, and on supporting each other. So we will be starting working groups in the coming year, or based on what you want. And that comes from this survey that we've just done of you to find out what is important to you. And we see that use of reclaimed and recycled materials, including in packaging, is extremely important, as is avoiding deforestation and the degeneration of the forests of the world. Reduction of chemical usage is the other top priority for you. But these are followed closely by a reduction of waste, including reduction of the use of plastic, by improving supply chain transparency and the ways in which you can educate customers on the eco attributes of your product when you have more information about your own supply chains. And also followed by ensuring workers and your vendors' workers' health and safety and welfare, including fair wages paid right the way down your supply chain. And energy use, energy conservation and reduction of fossil fuel use is also a priority, significant priority for you. It's interesting for me to see that water conservation is something that is just coming onto the radar for many in this industry. We also asked you about what you are proud of having done, and many of you are proud of what you are accomplishing in health and safety in your own operations and up and down your supply chain. And that, I think, includes your pride on doing what you can to promote social equity within your operations and up and down your supply chain. Many of you have accomplished great things in waste reduction and in CO2 emissions reduction. And some of you have accomplished great things in circularity. So what I see here is a lot of expertise that you can potentially share with fellow members of the organization. We asked you where you feel like you can improve, and things that you want to more information about. And in both of these, let's see, I think I skipped a slide. In both of these, where you can improve and what you want to know more about, circularity comes up very high. It also comes up very high in what you want to focus on in 2021. As I said, circularity is where a lot of these things converge. It is a part of improving management of our waste, make it a feedstock instead of a waste. And of course, recycling anything saves a lot of energy as well as saving that natural resource, so reduces carbon emissions. So knowing what you want to learn more about and knowing where you want to focus in the coming year gives us the opportunity to develop new programs and come up with new networking opportunities for you. And this is what you can expect. You have asked for these specific things, and these are what we know are doable. And what you can see, you can expect to get from us right now. Also, though, there are things that you can, there are member benefits that you can take advantage of immediately. And I want to just take a minute to point that out. Using the member seal in all your marketing and advertising is the thing that is going to make it more famous faster. So I encourage you to use the member seal. I invite you to sponsor something, things like webinars. All our virtual events are sponsorable until we return to physical events when it is safe to do so. We have consumer research that we've done over the years, and it's time to do another wave of that. That is sponsorable. And when you're the sponsor of the consumer research, not only do you support the questions we've been collecting data on over the 10 years we've been doing this, but also you can add your own questions either to the public survey or to for your own internal use. There are ways you can be involved, such as serving on our board, and you can ask for, such as serving on our board. It is time for us to be selecting board members for service at the beginning of the year. So do let me know if you are interested in knowing more about that. All of you are brilliant. All of you have a lot to offer, and our organization will benefit when you get involved at that level. So think about it. Also think about who among your members you want to meet, because you can ask for introductions and you can offer your own expertise to fellow members. Those interest groups that you are asking for, they are going to take your being involved. So I look forward to getting you involved in those. And if you're interested in being on TV, EarthXTV has offered us a series of segments about the wood furniture scorecard to celebrate those winners, but has also offered us other segments. And this is something we could do throughout the next 12 months. It'll start at the beginning of the new year, and we could do it throughout the next 12 months. It doesn't take any cash money, but it does take having access to videos. So this is something we are going to do if we can swing it with the technical requirements. So I hope you'll be interested, and I hope you'll get involved with that. Now, I want to hear from you. And so I am going to ask you to raise your hands, and what I'm going to do is take you off mute so that you can ask your questions and raise and make your comments. So in the box on the right-hand side of the screen, there's a place where you can raise your hand. Perhaps nobody has any questions or comments, but that would be disappointing. I hope that some of you have some thoughts that you want to share. Okay, thank you, Anna. Anna Caro is self-muted, and so we'll ask. There you go.
Hi. So my question is kind of related to the survey you took, just thinking about areas that we want to improve on. I'm an interior designer and working with contractors a lot. I think one of the main issues that I would like to work on moving forward is my knowledge on how to help construction and demolition waste. So I was wondering if you have any resources or maybe organizations similar to yours that we could direct our contractors to, or even learn through ourselves to improve the current situation with construction and demolition practices.
Yes, absolutely. Anna, one of the fellow members of Sustainable Furnishings Council is the Good Future Design Alliance. And I recall that you were in Nashville, Tennessee. Good Future Design Alliance was founded by people in California, but they have resources to share for all around the country.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So Good Future Design Alliance. Also, I'll point out we are an education provider for the U.S. Green Building Council, for the Green Building GBCI, Green Building Certification Institute. And so we're involved with USGBC in that way. And I noticed that they have excellent resources as well. So I will recommend that you network with your local USGBC chapter. That could be useful to you. Let's see. And we've got a question in the chat asking for elaboration on the wood furniture scorecard. So I'll just go up to that slide. The wood furniture scorecard is a program that we started 3 years ago, and it is focused on retailers. We are assessing retailers for their wood sourcing policies. Why? Because retailers are the ones who are in a position to influence what manufacturers do. When your customers require that you tell them all about where your wood is coming from, then that will make sure that a manufacturer can tell them that. So it is focused on retailers, and it is influencing. We are seeing that it is influencing retailers' relationships with manufacturers. So the first thing that we look for in the wood furniture scorecard is whether the retailer has a policy posted on their website or otherwise available in the public domain that describes how they source wooden furniture or the wood that is used in the furniture that they are buying. Do they have a policy? Do they have a comment on their website about their commitment to sourcing wood responsibly? They get points for that. What we are looking for is a robust policy. So if they've got a comment, we give them a bit of credit for that, but we let them know that we are looking for a policy. When we assess companies, just using what's in the public domain, we next reach out to them and we say, here's what we found, here's your preliminary score. Did we miss anything? And do you want any help in for instance, developing a policy or improving implementation of the policy you have. And we spend the bulk of the time, it takes about 6 or 8 months to do from start to finish, to do these assessments. We spend the bulk of that time working with companies. So providing them with free consulting services. This is supported by funding from World Wildlife Fund and our partners at National Wildlife Federation support us in providing these consulting services to companies that need help or are interested in learning more about what they can do. And that, as I said, is the way we spend most of the time. And then we finalize the scores and put it on our website. It's published on our website. So it's sustainablefurnishings.org. You can find the wood furniture scorecard tab, and you can see there not only the companies that scored high this year, but you can also see lots of good resources that you can make use of. Resources like a template wood sourcing policy, information about forests, and the difference this can make in your business. So there is a little bit more information about the wood furniture scorecard. I wonder whether that answers the question or if there are any other questions or comments on that front. Okay. Y'all, I will comment that this year, circularity has really been sort of a buzz word for us. We have in our monthly webinars, we specifically address circularity in the May and June webinars, and those webinars were better attended than any of the others all year long. The ones about harmful chemicals were a close second, but there is obviously a lot of interest in circularity, and in our membership, I mean, to Anna's question just a little bit ago, there is a lot of expertise in our membership as well, including the people who led those webinars, Jamie Facciola of Furniture Cycle and Carla Magruder of Accelerating Circularity in Textiles. So there's a lot of expertise that we can draw on in this area of interest, and you'll see that happening in the coming year. You'll also see that we are going to be reorganizing our requirements for exemplary recognition. A few companies have earned exemplary recognition over the years, and we know that many more of you deserve that exemplary recognition. So look for our requirements to change so that they fit more logically in these 6 segments, and so that certifications you have, this won't be a change, this is what we've already got, but certifications you have, third-party certifications you have invested in will be the thing that gets you that exemplary recognition. So that is another thing you can be looking for in the coming year. I wonder whether any of the rest of you have any comments or questions that you would like to say by raising your hand and I'll unmute you, or that you would like to put into the chat. Maybe not, maybe that's it. So if there are no further comments or questions, I am just going to conclude by thanking you for your involvement with us and by inviting you to get even more involved in the coming year. You make a tremendous difference to us, and it is making a difference to the strength of our industry. as well as to the possibilities for a healthy future. So thank you very much, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Join us again next month at this same time for our regularly scheduled Sustainability Essentials webinar, which will be on the topic of light. So we look forward to seeing you then, if not before. Thank you for being with us. Bye now.
Thank you, Susan.
Thank you.